Hey all. Well, it's almost summer, that fun time of the year where we get to enjoy vacations and holidays and barbecues. It's a time when everything slows down. Kids are off school, ministry activities are less. And like you, I'll be taking vacation over the course of the summer and getting some downtime. But it got me thinking about the theology of play. Now, if you're like me, this idea of having a theology of play is a little bit odd because we don't picture God often as being playful. We can see him being big and holy and almighty and restful and creative, but playful is often not a term we associate with God. And yet I think a theology of play is actually very, very important. A lot of us, if you've been in the church for a long time, can get on board with a theology of rest. After all, God spent 6 days with Jesus creating the world, and then on the seventh day, he rested. And so we know that rest is important. We all know that we can't go 100 miles an hour forever. And usually when we have a burst of activity or a busy season of life, we follow it up with this idea of getting some downtime, of taking some time off, of recuperating from all of that stuff. And yet, when you go through Scripture, you realize that in fact, God is a God of play. In fact, all you have to do is look around at creation. I mean, half the stuff that he created, I mean, let's be honest, they're just funny. I mean, we would never have thought of these things, right? We were told in Scripture that God sings over us. It gives this impression of someone who's just delighted and enjoying his creation and singing over it. He put all kinds of feasts in the Israel calendar, and they weren't all serious. Some were, but some were just feasts of enjoying and having fun together. He created children, and if you've ever watched children, children are masters of play, and they do it with all their might, and they just enjoy playtime. That's what they like to do. Well, why does this all matter? Well, there's two dangers if we don't have a good theology of play. The first is that we separate play from everything else we do in terms of our faith. In other words, we work hard at church, we work hard at our jobs, we do good to raise our kids. But if we don't have a good theology of play, we reach the point where it's time for, to take a step back, and it becomes very me-centered. In other words, we think, hey, I did all that work, I've put all that energy in for God, now I get some me time. And we end up devolving or going into just whatever activity makes me feel good. The problem with that, and you know this by looking around the world, is that left to our own devices, how we play is not always healthy for us. The second problem that comes in is we begin to see play as lesser. In other words, doing good work, ministering, being at church, reading our Bibles, all these things which are really good are way more important and have much more value than play. And play becomes something we do only when we have time in the corners, in the spaces, and it's not core to who we are. I think this whole idea of rest and play runs through Scripture. God designed us to be people who play, who relax, who enjoy the good things that he has created for us. And so as we look at this year, as you go through your summer, as you look at your vacation, as you take your holidays, I would invite you to bring a theology of play into your activities. What does that look like? It doesn't mean that every time you go sit on the beach this summer that you have to do studying with a pad and a paper, although maybe that's something that is play to you. But it's more an attitude of inviting God into everything you do. Take delight in his creation. Enjoy the relationships he's put you in. The activities that you love to do, thank him for them. Make him a part of that. He designed us to rest and to play, and he delights in doing it with us. I wonder that if we had a better theology of playing, that our rest might actually be more satisfying, our play might actually be more delightful, and our lives would actually be more full. May you have an amazing summer, not just serving, not just working, but playing with God. Till next time.